Hello everyone, and welcome to my British Royal Family official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Today marks exactly 1 year since the late Queen passed away peacefully at her beloved Balmoral home after 70 years of extraordinary service. Charles, her eldest son, became king immediately after she passed away, making him the longest heir to the throne in history. Today also marks the first anniversary of his accession. Charles was always going to have big shoes to fill when he rose to the top job after his mother's near-perfect reign. What's more, any reasonable person would agree, it has not forever been as simple a year as ruler for the Lord, which show never excessively far away from him, or the more extensive imperial family. One of the most squeezing family gifts that Charles has needed to manage during his most memorable year as Lord is that of his child Sovereign Harry and girl in regulation Meghan Markle. Many people hoped that the death of the late Queen would lead to the restoration of the Sussex family's relationship with the King and Prince William. Nonetheless, this has surely not been the situation. Charles had to endure the couple's controversial Netflix series just a few weeks after taking the throne. In it, they made a number of attacks against the royals, and Harry even said his dad was lying at a summit. But worse was to come. Harry released his explosive memoir Spare earlier this year. In it, he said that William had physically attacked him, that he had revealed Kate's fight with Meghan, that he had attacked his stepmother Queen Camilla, and that his father had not hugged him after his mother Princess Diana had passed away. A family friend of the king told the Daily Mail, "The king has not read the book." Why would he read something when he is aware of its potential for such hurt? It's been a noticeably provoking year with regards to the Sussexes. In addition, the king decided to seize the keys to Frogmore Cottage, Harry and Meghan's residence in the United Kingdom on the Windsor estate. Although Meghan stayed at home, Harry attended his father's May coronation. However, their relationship does not appear to be warming up anytime soon, with one insider stating that it remains rooted at rock bottom. In the meantime, one show Charles needed to confront, only 48 hours subsequent to becoming Lord, was the supposed Pengate show. The principal occurrence came when he went to a gathering of the promotion committee, where he was formally declared ruler. The noteworthy gathering was broadcast unexpectedly, and he was spotted frowning when a pen plate hindered him marking a record, and he enticed a helper to move it. However, his frustrations with stationery did not end there. Just a few days later, he was caught in a second video that went viral in Northern Ireland. A pen that was leaking was recorded making him agitated and yelling, "I can't bear this ****** thing every stinking time." Fortunately, a few weeks later, after the royal mourning had ended, he was able to see the humorous side of his writing issues. He and the Queen consort were invited to sign a visitor's book while they were in Dunfermline. The king appeared to use his own pen. He also smiled and gave the impression of saying, after handing it to Camilla, he appeared to refer to the pen dramas. These things have such erratic behavior. Andrew clinging to power. The scandal surrounding Prince Andrew, which is still going on with Charles, was another major drama that engulfed the late Queen in her final years. Prior to taking the high position, both Charles and William campaigned the late sovereign to strip him of his valued military titles and good cause supports after he paid his sex misuse informer Ps 12 million. Prince Andrew has refuted the allegation that he was involved in any way in the settlement. At the point when Charles took the privileged position, many thought about how he would manage his more youthful sibling, who no longer does public obligations and has been deprived of his privileged military affiliations. Also, there were rumors that the king wanted Andrew to move from his big house in Windsor, Royal Lodge, to Frogmore Cottage, where Harry and Meghan used to live. He was invited to the coronation ceremony at Westminster Abbey and was at Balmoral for the royal family's annual summer get-together, so it appears that those plans have been put on hold for the time being. In addition, it is alleged that the king overruled William by mandating that the Duke of York's family accept him back into the fold. The ruler has made it clear to the senior royals that Andrew wouldn't be closed out anymore and proposed the sovereign of ribs would be the one to drive him to chapel in Scotland when they visited toward the finish of a month ago. Eggings it appeared that the king was eager to meet as many people as possible during his early reign, but egg-throwing incidents have marred two of his walkabouts. The first came in November, when eggs were tossed at him and Camilla as they visited the city of York. The imperial couple had recently shown up in the city to reveal a sculpture to pay tribute to the late sovereign at York Minster, when a figure in the group tossed 4 eggs, all of which missed. After an egg was allegedly thrown at the king during another walkabout, police confirmed that they had charged a 28-year-old man with a public order violation a few weeks later. Bedfordshire police wouldn't reveal the name of the suspect following the occurrence outside Luton city centre. Political upheaval. One of his mother's final duties as monarch was to officially invite Liz Truss to become Prime Minister after Boris Johnson resigned, just 2 days before she died. As a result, Miss Truss became the first PM Charles met with weekly as king. And it appears that the stinging comment that the king made to Miss Truss, who was under a lot of pressure from politicians at the time, will always be remembered. The former Tory leader was seen awkwardly curtsying as she was led into the room where she was going to have an audience with Charles before shaking his hand. Also, he said, "Back once more. Dear goodness dear." In the meantime, it would have been assumed that because Charles's late mother appointed Miss Truss just a few days before his accession, he wouldn't have to worry about it in the beginning. However, Miss Truss was forced to resign after 44 days in 10 Downing Street, making her Britain's shortest-serving Prime Minister ever as she quickly lost the support of Tory MPs. Before officially appointing Rishi Sunak as PM, Charles had to oversee Miss Truss' resignation just a few weeks into his reign. The demise of the late Queen's right-hand woman. She was the most dependable staff member of the late Queen, and she developed an unlikely but cozy relationship with the former monarch. However, Angela Kelly was forced to leave her Windsor home of grace and favour in a snap, and Charles reportedly has forbidden her from disclosing any additional royal secrets. The 65-year-old had extraordinary permission to publish 2 books about life inside Buckingham Palace. The late Queen Elizabeth II reportedly once said, "We could be sisters." It was thought she would be allowed to stay at her grace and favour home in Windsor after the Queen's death, but in April she appeared to confirm this was not the case. She appeared to confirm that her work phone had been disconnected when she posted on Instagram that she would be leaving a property on the Windsor estate. Reports later recommended that her new home in Yorkshire had really been set up for her by the ruler and would return to the crown upon her demise. Nonetheless, it has been guaranteed that the Lord has prohibited Anne Kelly from sharing illustrious mysteries in return for her new residence. According to the Mail on Sunday, she was thought to have received permission from the late Queen to write a 3rd book. However, the new agreement is likely to thwart those plans. According to reports, the king was of the opinion that a revised version of the other side of the coin went too far in terms of disclosing personal information about the royal family. The Daily Mail was previously informed by a source. His only concern was safeguarding the Queen's and the Crown's dignity. After his mother passed away, nothing has changed. He is, in fact, more determined to safeguard her legacy and reputation. It was announced earlier this year that Charles would be traveling to France and then Germany for his first overseas visit as king, after he had settled into his position as monarch. Nonetheless, without a second to spare, the excursion to France was cut out following far-reaching fights and distress in the country. As a result, his first trip abroad as king was to Germany, where he and Camilla were greeted enthusiastically. The outing to France has now been revamped for the near future, with both the ruler and sovereign set to visit Paris and Bordeaux. A race dispute that engulfed the palace was another issue Charles had to negotiate. It occurred following an alleged inquiry at Buckingham Palace by a royal aide to a black British visitor. "Where do you come from in Africa?" Ngozi Fulani, the founder of a black women's domestic abuse charity, claims Lady Susan Hussey inquired about her ethnicity. The 83-year-old was one of the late sovereign's most confided in assistants and is ruler William's guardian. After the two met, the charity activist accepted an apology from Lady Susan, who continues to work for the royals. Nyosi, on the other hand, stated in a March appearance on Good Morning Britain that she would be quitting her organization's sister space. While she spoke about the online abuse she received for speaking out, Nyosi maintained that she did not regret doing so. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.